Hi everyone, this is our final capstone video for NaviAI. I'm Tyler.
I'm Emmanuel Luna.
I'm Adrian Regalado.
And I'm Andy Kwa.
And this is our final presentation. I'm going to take it off to Emmanuel to describe what NaviAI is.
Now, what is Navi? Navi is a tool made to help new players and old players better play Dungeons & Dragons, cutting down the time that it takes for you to create an action, create a campaign, or create a character, to helping you making the process of learning D&D much more faster with our wiki access to D&D resources to help you design characters and campaigns, and moreover live sessions to share information with other players or roll dice. In addition, to help you with mapping so that you may be able to better track your campaign, where you're located in your campaign, or create art through it as well, specifically for your campaigns.
Okay, welcome to our application. This is our login page here. From here you can do pretty standard things like log in, create your account, or reset your password. Moreover though, you can actually continue as a guest into our application. This provides a limited point of view of our application here, so you can see that we have our about page, our team page, and then some tutorials in our wiki that you can look at. But besides that, you need to actually log in and create an account to access the more dedicated features of our application. So I'm going to take the time to quickly log in and show that off. Okay, so once you've logged in, you'll land on this homepage here. This is our main hub for using Navi. On this page, you have access to the characters you've created, your campaigns and what ones you participate in, as well as actually chatting with Navi. To create a new character or campaign, it's as simple as clicking create new character or create new campaign. Create new campaign is relatively simple, while create new character is a little bit more complex. Here you can just enter the basic information for your character, but then you need to fill in the rest of your character later since there's a lot of character information that is on a character sheet. So once you actually create a character and go click edit, then you can fill in the rest of its information like its stats, the actions, your backstory, etc., whatever it needs to be a proper D&D character. And then from there you can actually view it publicly and see a character sheet view of your character. From here, we're going to talk about the actual chat view for Navi. On the chat views and such, wherever they're displayed, there is a little drop down here to select the theme for the website. I'm going to select dark mode for the usage of this application and for the rest of the demo. To actually use your character and campaign with the chat, you need to click the select button next to your character. I'm going to use Sheila again. And then once you click select, then this drop down actually populates with the character Sheila and all of her information. So if I want to talk about one of her skills, for example, like her animal handling, I will click the skills drop down and then go to her skill animal handling and then ask Navi about it. There's a couple of base questions here like how do I use animal handling, what does it do, what are the attributes, and then a custom question. I'm just going to ask her how to use animal handling and then send it in the chat. This will take a second for Navi to respond, but once it responds in the chat, it should give us some information on how to use animal handling and what it does. So we're going to wait here, and it's actually back already, and it says animal handling is the wisdom-based skill, blah 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 blah, and this tells you on how to use that information and what it means for Sheila. Alongside of asking character-specific questions, Navi can answer anything about general D&D information. So if I want to ask her that, I can just type here to ask her any questions regarding that. However, if you don't know what to ask her and you need help, there are sample questions on the side here that you can drop down. And this has general questions you can ask Navi, follow-up responses if you've asked her a question already, or sample data questions like what is the armor class of a goblin. So if I want to ask her that, then I just click here and then click send. And then Navi will generate a response, and then it will just tell you what the armor class of a goblin is here, which it says is 15.
As cool as our AI may be, there are some situations where asking Navi and then awaiting a response seems a bit overkill. Say for example you wish to look up for a rule, find the stats for a piece of equipment, or even just refresh our memory on what the charisma stat does. For this, we have created a wiki feature. If we just click on it up in our header right now, our wiki is essentially just a faster way to get simpler bits of information. You can see on the left that we have a long list of categories such as rules, equipment, classes, and so on. If we click on a category, it'll bring us to a page like this, which lists instances of those categories. For example, seeing as we're now on the ability scores page, let's see what happens if we click on CHA, which stands for Charisma. This will bring us to a more detailed page which includes a description of what Charisma does and how it affects your gameplay in Dungeons & Dragons. Clicking on other options in the other categories will also bring up pages like this where you can find information quickly and easily.
So a core feature of our application is the campaign system. It has a variety of features, but we're going to talk about viewing our campaign art. So if we click on Bob's Cool Farm here, we can see our picture that we've made, and we can actually view it as a big picture here instead of just a thumbnail. So that's our little smiley face. And suppose we don't really like our smiley face, we can actually make more artwork ourselves by using our editor. But it'll take any image, so if you have your own custom image you like, you're more than welcome to upload it. It even works with GIFs. Here you can see we can pick colors, and we have a canvas built for us already, and we can resize it if we need to, but we're just going to go ahead and draw ourselves a little smiley face. This one's red. What a nice guy. So now we can upload our happy little red guy, and once we have him on our screen, we can go ahead and click the upload artwork button, and voila, he shows up. There he is. We can view him. There he is. What a silly little guy he is. We're so proud of him, we're going to feature him instead. So if we click the feature button, this is now the artwork that will be displayed to our players when they view our art. Now we're going to continue with our session views. So every campaign has a session, and this is a way to organize your players and Dungeon Master together to communicate with each other and play out a Dungeons & Dragons session. So we can click view. This will bring us into the session view, and from here we can chat with each other, roll dice, and see who's in the campaign, as well as we can still talk to NaviAI like normal, and view our character sheet if we're curious about our character, as well as do live edits to the campaign if something needs to change for whatever reason. So there's a variety of features here, and they're all very useful for playing out your own D&D campaign. And so definitely worth trying out everything. We have various rolling features, as well as the ability to view anyone's character sheet. And if you're unsure of how to use the commands, you can always use /help.
Okay, to briefly talk about the system design for our application, our AI was developed using an OpenAI GPT-4o model and an Ajax agent. The Ajax agent acts as a way for us to train the model on D&D information, as well as provide memoization for the application, which allows us to store user responses and things like that to keep the responses more catered towards the user. From here, this is passed through a communication layer, which not only formats the responses for us to display on screen, but also provides us a way to sanitize the input in case error requests are sent through. All of this is sent to three things. One, the PostgreSQL database to store the responses for user chat history, the Django web server to handle it in the view backend, and then three, the actual HTML views to display it on the front end. From here, we use a couple other things. One of these things is a D&D API, which provides all the D&D information that is publicly available. And then we use an Nginx gateway to serve static files, which is all sent out to an AWS AC2 instance to deploy our application. And that's it. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you want to check out our project, you can visit navidnd.com to try out the application for yourself.